The honourable member for Kitchener Centre.
Mr. Speaker, Ontario's Greenbelt is a crown jewel, protecting nearly 2 million acres of environmentally sensitive land. Yet, Doug Ford calls the Greenbelt a scam. It's clear he's working to parcel it off to his developer friends. We can't let him do that. What does the Minister of Environment think of Premier Ford calling the Greenbelt a scam, and will he stand up for the Greenbelt with every tool available?
The Honourable Minister of the Environment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I profoundly disagree with the characterization that the Premier of Ontario has made about the Greenbelt. Protecting green spaces so that our kids and grandkids can have access to green spaces, to clean air and clean water is no scam, Mr. Speaker. Working to ensure that our kids and grandkids continue to have a bright future is no scam, Mr. Speaker, and the federal government will use all of its available tools to ensure that we can continue protecting the lands in the Greenbelt, as well as jewels like the Rouge National Park. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable member for Vancouver Kingsway.
A new report shows the number of Canadian teenagers regularly vaping is now shockingly among the highest in the world. This puts the health and lives of youth at great risk, and experts say it is Liberal inaction fueling this growing crisis. The government's refusal to take on big tobacco is allowing them to use flavored products to hook a new generation of Canadians. Why are Liberals standing back while big tobacco uses flavors like cotton candy to lure teenagers to become addicted to nicotine?
The Honourable Minister of Health.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I'm glad and grateful for this question. We have indeed met with a number of key stakeholders in the area, including this morning the Canadian Cancer Society. We are grateful for all of their input. We know how tremendous the impact of vaping and smoking is in our society, including for younger Canadians and youth, and that's why we have already put into place strong regulations over the last few years on packaging, publicity and content of vaping products, and we'll be doing more.
The honourable member for Saanich Gulf Islands.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Moments ago, the Minister of Environment said he'll use every tool available to the federal government. Those tools are lying idle while Doug Ford revs up the bulldozers. We know that we could use endangered species legislation, look at impact assessment, but probably the strongest tool is the international, legally binding agreement of the Great Lakes Annex to prohibit the movement of water within the Great Lakes from basin to basin. 8 U.S. states, 2 Canadian provinces, and 2 federal governments stand behind that annex. When will the federal government stand up and demand that the Ontario government, under whose signature Mike Harris signed that accord, will live up to its terms?
The Honourable Minister of the Environment.
Speaker, as the member well known, we can use the Species at Risk Act once projects are being proposed. No such projects have been proposed so far, but we have already started an impact assessment review of the impacts of said development on the Rouge National Park. We did not wait. We're already acting, and we're looking at other areas of Ontario where we could launch similar studies to look at what the impacts of dezoning the Greenbelt lands could be on federal protected lands. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.